What's up, guys? It's Crash, and we all know that World War III, the game that was once touted as the great battlefield killer, has been on the ropes for some time now. Low player numbers, there hasn't been a lot of content coming their way. The seasons have been happening, but I mean, this would rival Battlefield 2042 for the least amount of content possible to consider a game active. It's kind of that bad with the game, and I've been wondering what's happening with it, and I've been thinking about putting a video together talking about what are some of the things that they could do. How could they turn this thing around? What would be able to help it out? And is this game going to die? Well, unfortunately, I found some information on the internet with the help of my friend Jacob in the Discord, pointed me to this. We talked about it on the Scope podcast yesterday. There is some information on the Farm 51 webpage. They are the ones that developed this game that makes it sound like we could be seeing the end of life for World War III. I might be calling it a little bit early, but the writing is on the wall. So let's hop over to the website and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. When we get over here to the website, this is the Farm 51. This is the main web page where you can check out their website. If you go over here to careers, now again, this is the main studio working on it. They've had a couple different publishers over time, but if you scroll down and look at Join Us, you guys can see that they are hiring a game designer for a brand new project. And what that is they're kicking off a brand new exciting game really shortly. So this is a game we haven't heard about yet. Therefore, we are currently on the lookout for a seasoned game designer to join the project team. And you guys can see that right below that, it says last and definitely not least, you love FPS games. So there we can tell that it's an FPS game. Again, I'm highlighting this to reiterate that it's a brand new game. There are a couple other games that the Farm 51 works on, but this is going to be a brand new one. And then some of the requirements can also elude us to actually what's going on. A good knowledge of Unreal Engine 4 and 5, especially in the genre of FPS online and co-op multiplayer. So that tells us that they're going for an FPS that's a co-op online multiplayer. And then said under the nice to have recommendations, it would be cool if they had experience in working on a multiplayer FPS game. Will be a huge asset, as well as, this is a big one, interest in military games. So you get kind of a clear picture of what they're looking for when they're looking for a game designer on a new game. And you kind of have to think that if you're talking about a studio that's already doing the bare minimum for a game with not a lot of players in it, it really sounds like when the current contract is up with their wish list games, that this game could be seeing its sunset. I think we could see the end of life, and then that would be sometime fairly soon when the year is up on that. I believe it could have been potentially sometime towards the end of September when we could actually be seeing that, as well as they're going to start something else. So it really sounds like, and I may be reading into this too far, but if you look at Farm 51, they don't have a ton of irons in the fire. It only kind of makes sense that they would go ahead and end World War III and take another stab at it. And I don't know how to feel about this. It's just kind of, I might make another video as kind of like a tribute to World War III because it had so much potential. And I could say in a nutshell, how would you make that game any better? Or how could it have succeeded? Basically, look at BattleBit Remastered. If you had the game that looked and played and had the customization and the weapons and the vibe and the feel and the graphics of World War III, with everything that BattleBit Remastered did correctly, with having the game launch where it worked, with having a whole bunch of maps that people could play, with having a bunch of modes, with a server browser, with having developers that talk every single week about what they're doing with the game, all of that stuff, if you would have had it with World War III's style of gameplay and graphics and looks and feel to it, with that excellent customization that they had with both weapons and soldiers, that thing would have been awesome and could have potentially been, it sounds crazy and it's cliche and I hate hearing it, but at that point you might have actually had a battlefield killer that would have had a successful launch and then been able to been potentially moved over to console, and it would have been absolutely killing it. Their marketing was so rough, and every single time they had their chance, when Battlefield and other games were failing, they failed to deliver on netcode and networking, and the game was almost always unplayable when it was live, especially in the early stages. And it is such a shame because I wanted to see a game like this. Many of you wanted to see a game like this, but it just really sounds like World War III could be coming to an end very soon, and they're going to be working on a new next multiplayer game. And to keep in mind that it took them since 2018 to get World War III to this point, I don't think we're in a hurry to hear what Farm 51 is working on next. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one.